Parkour. Let's talk lower body plyos. Everybody wants to do the cool box jumps and all the cool plyometric stuff, right? It's a huge hot button kind of topic that we're going through right now. But with that being said, you need to actually build up to be able to do all the cool stuff. So today that's what we're gonna talk about. We're gonna talk about THP's lower body plyo progression. And this is just level 1. So we're building the fundamentals. Now at THP, we do this with a lot of our movements. So our deadlifting, our squatting, our lunging, our pushing, our pulling, those type of things. We're gonna build up easier positions first, master the movement, make it harder, add variables. That's the same way we do these type of lower body progressions. So when we talk about building up plyometric, leg strength, leg power, we got to talk about building the brakes first. So that's where we're starting here. So we're going to stay vertical, meaning up and down. Okay, vertical, and we're going to go bilateral and unilateral. So that means on both legs and on one leg. So we have to figure out first how to decelerate our body across both legs and across one leg. So the way we do that is a snap down to stick. So all you got to do to build this kind of deceleration pattern up is to reach as high as you can to the sky and then snap down as hard as you can as if you were about to jump as high as you can, but you're just worried about staying stacked in that position and throwing into the ground. Nice tight core. We call this an athletic position or a ready position for a lot of sports. We're gonna do that with 2 legs, and then we're gonna do it on 1 leg. So we start to get used to landing on 2 legs, landing on 1 leg, what it looks like to decelerate for the lower body. If we can decelerate and stay stacked, then we can get the most out of our actual jumps. So this is where everyone's starting, and once we get past this, then we can go on to a little bit more down the road, a little bit more fun. But remember, all of this is level 1, and we're gonna work left to right and then top to bottom. Okay, so let's get into the second phase. So this will be level 1A, this is level 1B. So this is linear, okay, meaning forward, backward, bilateral, and unilateral. So this is jumping and hopping to a stick. So we already learned how to do it vertical, up, down. Now we're trying to decelerate back and forward. Okay, so if we're going forwards and backwards, that means we have to apply some type of pressure that way. Okay, so on this, we're not too worried about how far you're jumping forward. Think of like a broad jump. We're more worried about, can you land and handle that linear force going this way? So if you're going out with 100 newtons of force, can you actually stop 100 newtons of force, right? So what we're looking for here is you're getting here, you're gonna throw out into an actual broad jump or something of the like that has your body going linear, and then you're gonna land and stick. Again, working on deceleration, staying stacked. Okay, if you can decelerate, then we can get into multiple jumps and multiple hops. So bilateral, that looks like going off of 2 feet, landing on 2 feet. Unilateral is more what we call a hop. That's going off of 1 foot, same mechanics, same premise, going forward, landing on 1 foot. So again, with all of these, we're going bilateral and unilateral to make sure that we can own it with both legs and own it on 1 leg, because normally on 1 leg, when you're coming down from the height, that's where injuries can happen. So as we move off of linear, we move to lateral. Lateral is left and right, okay? And we still have a bilateral, still have a unilateral component. We're doing a lateral jump or a lateral hop to a stick. So all that looks like, same as when we were working linear. Now we're just working left to right. So we're gonna jump off 1 foot and land on both and stick, okay? Or jump off 1 foot and land on 1, okay? That's our bilateral and our unilateral. We have to get our body moving that way, okay? And then we have to stop, throw the brakes on. Okay, so again, these 3 are all working on building your brakes. Okay, so 1 happens with no jump at all. You're just going up to down. It's the easiest one. That's why it's farthest left. Okay, right of that is a unilateral vertical. Then we go to our linear, so jumping forward, back, okay, on bilateral and unilateral. And then we go lateral. So now we just handled all of our different dimensions. We go up, down, forward, back, and side to side. If you have those 3 down, bilateral and unilateral, you're gonna be able to rotate and do different things because now you just combine them. Okay, now let's move down to the second level. This is still level 1 though, okay? This is level 1A, B, C. So now we're on level 1D. Okay, now we're gonna throw in a CMJ, which is a counter movement jump. Okay, so with this counter movement jump, we've got a bilateral and a unilateral. So now we're actually gonna throw some gas into the equation. This is the first time that we'll see gas. Okay, you're gonna go ahead, you're gonna jump as high as you can and then land in that decel position. So if you look at vertical bilateral and then you look at the vertical counter movement jump, they're the same thing, except now we just added an actual jump to it. So now you're landing from, let's say you jump 20 inches, you have to absorb 20 inches worth of force with your body weight. Whereas before it was just your body weight from 0 inches. Okay, so with that, that's our bilateral. Our unilateral is the same way. We come off of one foot and land on one foot, okay? And once we have that, that's gonna start to build kind of the building blocks of our counter movement jump. Now, with that, we move to linear, okay? So this would be a full broad jump. So before, we're doing more of just a short jump, okay? Linear on the second level, so level 1, A, B, C, D, E. This linear is gonna be more of a full broad jump, okay? So think about this one, vertical, we're jumping as high as we can. This one, we're jumping as far as we can, whereas up above, it's subdued. Again, we're needing bilateral and unilateral, and we're really focusing on that stick. Okay, and the last one in level 1 is a lateral, so lateral jump to a stick. Now before, again, we're just moving slightly. Okay, this one, we're really gonna go as hard as we can, and as far as we can, we're adding gas to the equation. Now, this is a great template for someone who's just learning how to get into the plyo game. Remember, you have to build your brakes on both sides and on a single leg before you can get into anything crazy. Keep in mind, there's also variations that we can do in here. This is just a template. Templates need to have their place where it's something to build off of. Okay, so if someone has movement limitations that maybe they can do A and B, but C is not in their bag, we may adjust C slightly. Okay, and what you can also do is if A and B maybe are a little bit too easy, we can add depth drops to this, we can add from height, a bunch of different ways to intensify. But really the point of this video is just to make sure you guys understand where we go left to right, and then how they get a little bit harder. So we'll have a whole video on level 2, level 3, and level 4, as well as some reels and smaller videos where you can kind of see these in action. So remember, when you're building your lower body plyometrically, you need to make sure you build the brakes first before you add the gas. And remember, we're always gonna look at movement too. If you don't have the movement qualifications for this, we're not even gonna really think about this. We're gonna build strength, mobility, and stability first. But once you have those qualifications, hop right into the progression, ride it all the way through, and then move from level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, and you'll be able to do everything you want to do on the court or in the field.